Knock knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Moo! So today I'm really excited. We are going to be making a cow cake named Bessie. So let's get started. But I want to make this cake extra special by doing a cow pattern inside the cake. So to do that, you're going to need a thick vanilla batter. Now believe me when I say you need a thick batter. I tried this once with thin batter. It did not work at all. If you guys want the recipe that I use, I will leave a link in the description box below. I took 2 cups of my vanilla batter and I added in a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. I added some black food coloring to make the black for my cow splotches. I put my cake batter into piping bags and I just popped those in the fridge overnight. That way they held their shape better. To bake my cake, I'm just using an 8-inch round sphere pan. I've greased that with some butter and then lined that with a piece of parchment paper with like slits cut into it. For all the tools and equipment I'm using and all the products that I'm using in this video, if you guys are curious where I got them, I will leave links for you guys in the description box below. So I start off in the middle of the cake using my black batter. I just made like a little dot and then made a little ring, and you're just kind of making rings and dots kind of going up your cake, filling it in using your white cake batter. Now this is going to look really funny when we start doing this, and this is my first video I've ever done of making a surprise inside cake, so I'm kind of crossing my fingers the whole time hoping that it works out. You want to start layering it up that way. Now the wider you go with your black batter, the wider the splotches are going to be. The taller you go with those black batter, the taller your splotches are going to be. You kind of want to work that way, going all the way up almost to the top of my cake pan. Now since your batter is very cold, I'm going to let it sit out on the counter for about an hour before I pop it into my oven for about an hour and 20 minutes at 325 to bake. Once it's cool, you can pop Bessie out of the cake pan. This cake is looking very strange. I'm kind of really hoping that it doesn't look like that on the inside of the cake. I crumb coated Bessie using my buttercream icing using an offset spatula and then just smoothed it out using a piece of paper towel. I wet it with some water so my fondant would stick to my cake, and then I rolled out my white fondant, rolled it back on my rolling pin and then back over my cake, smoothing it out with my hands. You want to make sure that this cake is perfectly smooth because Bessie don't want any lumpy bumpies all over her body. I used a fondant smoother to help get a nice tight edge at the bottom of my cake, and then I trimmed off the extra fondant. I realized that Bessie might look more like an igloo than a cow, but we're gonna fix that up. I start off by making Bessie's nose, and I made that out of copper fondant with a little bit of ivory. And just shaped that with my hands and then made 2 little nose holes. If you subscribe to my channel, you might have seen my piggy cake where I also made 2 little nose holes, and I talk about why I call them nose holes instead of nostrils. So thank you guys for everyone who subscribed to my channel and watched the piggy cake and requested this cow cake. To make Bessie's ears, I rolled out more of that copper fondant and cut out 2 little circles, cut out 2 bigger circles. I glued those together and then pinched the one end to make these cute little ears. For her eyes, I rolled out 2 little balls of black fondant and then put 2 little flecks of white to make her look all lifelike and cartoony. For her little tuft of hair, I rolled out some little logs of black fondant, cut them together and glued that on top. Now Bessie's looking kind of naked without her cow splotches. I'm not sure if they're really called splotches, but the cow pattern is missing. So I rolled out some thin black fondant and just used a sharp little X-Acto knife and then cut out these random different size splotches all over the place and then glued those onto my cow using some water. Don't make them too symmetrical because it's a cow. They're supposed to be kind of all over the place. And for Bessie's legs, I just rolled out some thick white fondant and then cut it off and then kind of put that in place, wrapping around her body. For her little feet or hooves or cloven hoofs or whatever you guys want to call them, I added some black little circles on top of that and used my knife to add in some details. Now because cows don't just chill out on cold white cake boards, we need to cover this cake board in some grass because cows love grass. So I used a grass dip and some green buttercream. I just carefully piped all around my legs and all around the body to pipe the grass all over the cake board. I did this after I put on my legs because if I did it first and then put my legs on top of that, it would have crushed all the grass and it would have been all like cracked and crunchy. Now that that's done, I'm just gonna add my final little detail by adding Bessie's cute little tail wrapping around her body. Now it's time to cut into our cake and reveal that cow pattern surprise inside, and I can't believe this actually worked. I was actually pretty surprised and pretty stressed out when it came out of the oven thinking there's no way this is gonna work. I'm gonna have to cover it up and pretend like there isn't a cow pattern, but it actually worked. Look, it's a cow pattern, guys. How cool is that? Thank you so much to everybody who requested a cow cake. I had so much fun making this, and for everyone who has subscribed to my channel, I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for everybody who made my piggy cake and tagged me in pictures on Instagram. I love seeing your guys' creations. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram and tag me, theicingartist.lori, because I love seeing your guys' work. If you guys really enjoyed this video, I would love for you to share it with your friends and help get it out there in the world, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'd love to hear if you guys have any suggestions for future animal cakes. You guys can leave those in the comment section below, and don't forget to check out the description box where you can find all the tools and recipes I used in this video. Hope to see you guys again next week. Bye! What do you get if you cross an upset sheep and an angry cow? An animal that's in a bad